All right, welcome everyone to our fifth program this month as part of our North Carolina Countdown to College Education Professionals Month. We appreciate you being here this morning. I'm just going to go over a few pieces of housekeeping and then pass it over to our wonderful presenter today, Ms. Hollingsworth Pierce. So just a couple things. One is this program is being recorded. Two, if you could please make sure that you are on mute, just because we have a good number of folks joining today. So just make sure you stay on mute. If you have any questions, you are welcome to send them over in the chat. You can send them just so everyone can see them, or you can send them privately to me, or you can use the QA feature, and that also is a private message in case you didn't want the whole group to see. So again, thank you all for being here. We appreciate it. We know your time is very valuable. When this program is over today, you will get a survey to complete, and we highly encourage you to complete it. We really appreciate those responses, and we build programming, especially this Education Professionals Month programming, from those feedback surveys. So we really do use them. I'm April Query. I'm Assistant Vice President of College Access and Community Outreach with College Foundation. And we have some other folks with CFNC that are here to help with questions in the chat and such. Today, we have a wonderful program. We are going to be talking about ProTools, an overview and reporting. And we have our fearless leader, Constance Hollingsworth Pierce, who is the K-12 Client Services Manager with CFNC Pathways, and she is our ProTools guru. Had the pleasure of working with Constance for a long time because she was a high school counselor in a previous role, so I was able to work with her there, and so she understands where folks are today with joining in questions and such. So I am going to pass it over to Constance, and again, let us know if you have questions, and thank you for joining this morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I am Constance Hollingsworth Pierce. As April has said, I do know how you feel in your daily role because I served as a school counselor for middle school in Hope County, for early college in Hope County, and then I worked as a liaison for early college with Fellow State University and programs in Cumberland County. So I understand the importance of using ProTools. And so today we're going to go over ProTools, and I want to show you just how to use ProTools. And we're going to do a higher level, and throughout the year, we look forward to doing specific trainings. So make sure you fill out that survey with April, and we want to build our trainings around what you would like to see. So as we get started, our agenda today is to go over what's new in ProTools, accessing ProTools, ProTools interface, ProTools help, that's your best friend, and support for the transition and beyond. So what's new in ProTools? Our interface has been updated with easier navigation and reporting. For access, we have streamlined our account access with granular permissions. So we're going to talk about what those roles look like. You've heard about them for over a year, but we now have them working properly, and we are excited about that. For reporting, we have some updates to FAFSA. You've heard about that last week, and we'll touch on that today and Thursday as well. And then for help, that's your best friend besides me, is easier access to support and help center resources. So how to access ProTools? If you do not have a ProTools account, this is how you receive a ProTools account. You will go to cfnc.org and create your account. So you log into cfnc.org, click on My Dashboard, Education Professionals tab, and I'm going to show you how that looks. And then a shortcut is cfnc.org/ProTools. And once you create your account, it's important to know that you have to create your account with your educational professional email. We cannot accept Yahoo, Google, or any of those. It has to be your professional educational email. I get a lot of calls or requests about you forgot your password or username. I can assist you with username, but any issues with your account, I can call on conference call with you, or we have to have you to call into our call center, which is 1-866-866-CFNC with the option of 5. And our wonderful partners at CFI can go in and reset your account. So we can't reset your account on our end, but we can help support you in getting it reset if needed. Another thing to say here, if you requested Pro Tools account and you have not heard back from us, one thing that happens is that you receive an email that says, please confirm your account. If you have not confirmed your account, that message does not get to me. So I have over 120 individuals waiting for Pro Tools, but you have not confirmed your account. So you get 3 emails asking you to confirm. And after that 3rd email, then it closes your ticket. So if you have requested Pro Tools and you have not confirmed your account, I have had one of our assistants to go in and send emails. So you may receive an email from Hope saying, please confirm your account so that we can get you access. So that's again, if you're having issues and you forgot your password or it's not letting you log in, please make sure you call our support desk, or make sure that you confirm your email. So we have some tickets waiting on us. I'm going to go through some today. Hope we'll finish out tomorrow on those that we have at our top of our list and get those cleaned out. But again, make sure you confirm your account. I'm going to be on the lookout for those today. Hope will be on the lookout for those first thing in the morning, all day tomorrow, to get you access before Thursday. So again, in order to get your account, the first thing you want to do is to log into cfnc.org. Click on that Select Education Professionals tab, Access Pro Tools. That's after you create your account. That's how you access your Pro Tools. Log into CFNC. If you haven't created your account, create your account, and then you'll be able to select Education Professionals tab and access your Pro Tools on Pro Tools login. So today we're going to go over our Pro Tools interface to make sure you understand what you can do in Pro Tools. That's our goal today, is to make sure you have an understanding of what you can do in Pro Tools. So our interface looks like on the left-hand side when you log into Pro Tools, you'll be able to see the dashboard, students and groups, college reports, career reports, custom reports, and administration. Under dashboard provides charts that provide basic information at a glance. And we're going to show you how that looks, but it's basic information about your school, your assigned school at a glance. If you serve 1 or 2 schools or 2 or more, you have to log into that school individually to see their basic information. You're also able to filter your daily statistics. You're able to choose up to 4 statistics to view, and you're able to view that data and hover over it. So when you log into Pro Tools, this is the first screen that you see. And so that interface that I just reviewed on the left-hand side, you see that dashboard, students and groups, college reports, career reports, custom reports, and administration. Above that, you see welcome, and you will always see your name. That means it's you, of course. And then our new granular reporting, that's school administrator. We'll talk about that role a little bit later, but if you have a school administrator, their name will be listed there. And our goal is to have a district administrator for every district, and that name should be listed there. And so beside that, you see that select report data to display for your statistics graphs. You're able to choose 4 areas that you want to know more information about. So if you want to know who your new users are, who started applications, who completed the applications, and then I chose transcript requests. And so you're able to see the statistics for month to date, daily, monthly, and yearly. You're able to hover over the bars to get more specific information as well. And you can see that it's color coded to help you look at if you're looking for a new user, if you're looking for that starter application, you'll see each one is color coded to help you differentiate that information. So if you just chose two and you did a started application and completed application, you can see that percentage of your students who started their application and versus those who actually completed their application. The next area, students and groups. Here you can look at duplicated accounts. You can release accounts, use Student Finder, and create saved groups. Under duplicate accounts, that area assists users in identifying duplicate accounts. And users then use online account recovery tools to recover their password. So we know, because we can do it, we do it too. We create multiple accounts, sometimes by accident. And so I just had one last week, and what I had to do was go in and they use two different email accounts. So I'm able to see, and you will be able to see for your students who created an account and when was the last time they created an account. So what account did they open and have they used most recently? So you won't delete the account, but you will help them identify which account they should be using. One of the highlighted features is you're able to search by graduation year. You're able to search by their name or username. You're able to export the list so you can print it and then leave your computer so it's all right in front of you. And you're able to know their last login with that account name and username. It'll look a little like this. So the first thing you can do, if you wanted to search by graduation year to narrow down your search, you can search by name or username in the search box. You can export to Excel spreadsheet, clicking on the export tab. And then you're able to see, so we have Mandy Wilson, and she has two possible accounts. And we see that she logged in on one account, Wilson to Mandy, on April 2016. And then she created another account, Mandy 2, and she logged in 2021. So what we will want Mandy to do is use the one that she logged in the last time with. So that Mandy 2, we will give her that username and she can reset her password. Release accounts. ProTools users can release CFNC or .org users from being viewable in ProTools for their school or organization. So when you have a student who transfers to another school, of course, we want to be able to release them so their new school can pick them up. So this allows release accounts. Releasing a user does not change the connections within that user's CFNC account. It only hides the user information from showing up in your organization. So a big thing to know here is when you release that student, it impacts your entire school. So let's say you're at a high school with 5 counselors and a student is moving to another counselor. You don't want to release that student because it releases that student from the organization, not from you seeing that student. So only release if they're moving to or transferring outside of your school. Once a user is released, this cannot be undone. So when you click on release accounts, you can search for data in any column. You can click the column heading to sort ascending or descending. So you can click on last name, first name, username, or grad year to sort. You can choose how many items you want to see on each page. You want to see 10, if you want to see 20. And to the right, you will see, after you find the user that you're looking for, you'll be able to release that account. Student Finder. This is the fastest way to search for users connected to your school or organization. Some search strategies is to use optional filters. So when you open Student Finder, you will see the full list of users connected to your organization at the bottom. The optional filters at the top of the page allows you to search based on several criteria that we will review. You can use the search column, as we just spoke about, as well. So your filter options will look this way throughout ProTools. You can select graduation year. If you wanted to do an age range, select gender, ethnicity, race, and then we'll talk about saving groups next. So you can filter out, because if you don't filter out, you see at the bottom, you'll see those total results, and that includes all of your students. So you can filter there. We had some work done on that this summer, so that filtering capability has been updated. The second thing you can do is search on any field shown in the column below by last name or grad year, or you can sort your columns again in ascending and descending order. Student Finder. This is a key one, resetting those passwords. We forget, they forget. So we want to be able to reset those passwords. And if you are a ProTools user and tied to a school, you have the ability to reset passwords as long as if your district is assigning you ProTools, they have checked that you can reset the password. We do this automatically. When we give you access, we give you the ability to reset passwords. This allows you to assist your users who have forgotten their passwords, and it triggers an email to them to reset their password. So you can see here where we're still in Student Finder, where you see at the bottom, you will see the last name, first name, username, grad year. The last thing you'll see on the right is reset password. When you click reset password, a box will populate to ask you, are you sure? And if you select send email, it'll send an email to the email the student has linked in their account. Saved groups. 3 steps to create a saved group. So why would you want to create a saved group? We're going to look at that on the next page, but the 3 steps to create a saved group is to choose your filters at the top of the page. So you can choose the year, you can choose gender, you can choose, we'll look at those in a second. So you choose your filter at the top of the page and click submit. Below you will see the total number of users who meet your criteria, as well as the user data divided into columns. You click the Save As Group button, type the name of your group in the Enter Group Name dialog box, and click Save. You use your Save Group as a filter by selecting the name of the group from the Save Groups drop-down box. Just a note, this is individually for your individual use. So you can only see your saved groups, not any of your counterparts. So how does this look? Again, you can use your filters for graduation year, select gender, ethnicity, race. So you can see on the left side, I have 2 groups created, a male class of 2023 and a test group for females. So again, the first thing you want to do is do your optional filters. Click submit. If you want to save your group, then you would click on Save As Group and then name your group. And all of your saved groups will pull up under that drop-down box of saved groups. So let's say I want to delete that group. Then I will go under Save Group, use my drop-down box, select that group, and click Delete Save Groups. College reports. Here we have the application process, finish the FAFSA, RDS, and transcript tracker. You have the ability to see which applications for admissions your students have started and if they have submitted them. This is only for campuses with a CFNC application. Common application and other third-party application statuses cannot be reported here. Our highlighted features for application progress report is you are able to view your applications, export, search, and see if the student applications have been submitted. And this is how this looks for you on your end. You're able to view the application started by the student. You're able to export to an Excel spreadsheet. You're able to search by student's first or last name, and you're able to see if the application has actually been submitted. Next, we have Finish the FAFSA. Finish the FAFSA provides authorized users the ability to view FAFSA completion statuses for seniors. We highly recommend that every individual that works with seniors get finish the FAFSA. When you request your ProTools account, we send a follow-up email saying, welcome, congratulations, you now have access to ProTools. In the second email, in the second box, it will ask you if you qualify for Finish the FAFSA. If you qualify for Finish the FAFSA, it tells you to click on a link, and that link will be in the chat. When you click on that link for Finish the FAFSA, you want to complete that, and they will go in, make sure that you have ProTools, and give you access to Finish the FAFSA. If you request Finish the FAFSA right now without requesting ProTools, they will route you back to ProTools. So you get your ProTools access, you receive an email from us. In that email, it details and gives you the link to Finish the FAFSA. You have to make sure that you click on that link and complete the short information that's asking you for, and they will give you Finish the FAFSA access as long as you have ProTools access. What data can educational professionals see, and what does it mean? You're able to see completion statuses. You're able to see if it's not submitted, which means student has not submitted the FAFSA. You're able to see submitted, which means the student has submitted the FAFSA, but there's a problem. The FAFSA won't be considered for financial aid until you see completed. So if you see submitted, that does not mean that it's completed. You want to see that it says completed. You're able to see signed by the student, signed by the parent, selected for verification. If they need some extra help, you will be able to know that. And you will be able to see if there's an error code. RDS completion provides counselors the ability to view whether a student has an active residency determination. So you're able to see that column, or you're able to filter. Again, you're able to search by name. You're able to search by year, graduation year. And so you will see the student's name, username, student number, and their RDS determination complete. So you're able to see if it says yes or no. Transcript tracking report allows counselors to track students' electronic transcript requests. So our highlighted features here are grad year search, specific graduation year to narrow your search, column search, that first name, last name, middle name, date of birth, column search, and view transcript activity. The first thing you can do is choose that graduation year to narrow your search, or you're able to search by last name, first name, date of birth. You can again sort your columns in ascending or descending order, and you're able to click on the row to view a student's transcript activity. So if you actually click on a name, it gives you this information. You're able to see the student's name to confirm that's the student you wanted to pull. You're able to see the college they submitted their transcript to, what type of transcript did they request. You're able to see the status, the transaction date, the date it was completed, and the date is exported by the college. And then if for some reason you need to call the college because it hasn't been exported, or because we have had this happen, it says date exported by the college and the college has said they have not received it, you have that transaction ID number there to give them. And if you click on view, once it has been completed, you're able to pull that transcript that was actually sent, received, and opened by the university. And now we're going to move on to our career reports. For our career reports, you're able, or your students are able, to do several wonderful reports to help you build your program. We have the interest finder, long and short, reality check, career cluster match, be your own boss, work value sorter, skills matcher. What you're able to see is the location of each one. You're able to see if it's in nccareers.org or cfnc.org. On Thursday, we're going to deep dive a little bit and have you all work to see how it looks and how a student can fill out information in NC Careers. They can log in using their CFNC.org account. And that's what we want them to do, because now that links them back to their ProTools and you're able to pull their data. And we're going to work through that on Thursday. So I hope to see you back here on Thursday. You're also able to see if the report can be seen in CFNC in our ProTools. So be your own boss is not one that you will be able to see. Career key, you cannot see. But we have that career clusters match. We have the reality check and all of those that you can see within the system. So for career reports, our highlighted feature, again, is the search, export, and being able to click on those hyperlinks to see more information about your student. So for career cluster match, once the student has taken the career cluster match, you can see this student took it 4 times, and we'll use the one from 2021, where it says their first cluster of choice was arts, audio, video, technology, and communications. If you click on it and it opens up to give you more information about that cluster and that pathway. Interest assessments is you're able, again, to click on the Holland code to view more information coming from NC Careers to get more information about each number and how can you help your students even more. Reality check, you're able to view the results for user level projected financial needs. Do our students have realistic expectations? Going to our custom reports. Our report builder is in custom reports, which allows you to select from a variety of reports. Filter students by graduation year, and then choose a time frame. So you're able to choose reports, select graduation year, and choose a time frame. So you're able to choose the name of a report, and we'll look at those. You're able to select the graduation year that you're searching for, and you're able to choose the time frame. College applications by college is one option, where you're able to group students by the colleges to which they have applied through cfnc.org. So you're able to group by colleges, you're able to export, and you're able to search for specific students. A college application by students is able to group students by student name, so you can see all the colleges to which a student has applied. So you're able to group students who have applied to a college, And now you're able to look at which school specific students have applied for. So you grouping by students, and it shows where they have applied through CFNC. So that's the important part, where they have applied through CFNC.org. Again, you're able to export and you're able to search based on any of the columns. We have an in-progress applications by college. It groups students by the college to which they have in-progress applications started but not submitted. So you're able to see that progress. We have in-progress applications by students, which groups by student name, so you can see all the colleges to which a student has in progress started but not submitted. And then we have our administration tab. So this tab is for our lead staff. So it's for the school level role and the district level role. If you have a school level role or district level role, you're able to create bulk accounts. This allows professionals to create CFNC accounts on behalf of their students. Once the accounts have been successfully created, students will be able to log in using a username and password you set for them. Upon the first login by the student, they will be required to change their password. And we'll go over we don't want you to have their password the same way I can have your password. We'll talk about that in a second. But you can create their bulk accounts and give them a username and password. But once they log in, they will be required to change their password. Some tips. Many educators find it helpful to request the assistance of a school data manager or similarly technical professional to extract the data from your student's information system in the format of the provided template. 2, make sure that username and email addresses are unique. If students have already created CFNC.org accounts, you will not be able to upload a file that duplicates or overrides a username or email address they already have. So step one is to click on administration that book account creation, but then you want to click on the download template. And based on which browser you're using, it may come to the top of your screen or the bottom of your screen. Step 2 is to add your students and add all the information required and save it to your computer as a CSV file. And step 3 is to upload the file by dropping the file into the space provided. And that's it. You give it some time and it uploads the information and your students will be able to log in. View accounts. This is a tool that enables ProTools users with administrator rights to view all ProTools users within an organizational unit, school, district, or program, and control access and permissions for those ProTools users. We do have a limit to 1 or 2 staff members per unit. So our roles we have within ProTools is our regular ProTools users who are able to access ProTools and use features based on their permissions by an administrator. So that's the permissions that we give you as we're trying to build school and district level administrators. They will be able to do that as well. Our school level administrators are able to add and remove access and permissions for school level ProTools users, except for Finish the FAFSA. Once you submit a ticket to be a school level administrator, you will receive a response back asking you to have your principal or designee to email giving you permission to be school level administrator. Our district level administrator is able to add and remove access and permissions for school level administrators and school level ProTools users, except for Finish the FAFSA access. If you are requesting district level administration roles, we will ask you to have someone from the district to email us to give permission. Responsibilities of administrators. Information that is accessible to ProTools users is sensitive because it contains personally identifiable information and is FERPA protected. This is why we cannot give you access to passwords. I can't have your password to be able, I can just tell you how to reset it. And the same for your students. They have personal identifiable information and FERPA protected. We're here and make sure that we're want to be careful about who can access our students' data. If you want to know more information about this, please make sure that you read our CFNC privacy policy. When you receive this PowerPoint, you're able to click the hyperlink to get more information. So the three primary responsibilities for our administrators is to grant ProTools access only to users specified. If you have any hesitation, please submit a request in ProTools Help to check. Grant only needed permissions to ProTools users, and to monitor changes in your staff that call for removing access or changing permissions. One of the things that we want to make sure that we do on our side is make sure that we are updating this information. We know that counselors move schools or they are no longer with the system. We don't know those things, so we really want to get more district level and school level admins to be able to control who has access to these reports. Your best friend outside of me is our ProTools Help. So at ProTools Help, your one-stop shop for ProTools support. And we're going to do a deep dive on Thursday. So I hope you come back and join us on Thursday for our deep dive into ProTools Help, where it provides support for training, documentation, and FAQs. You're able to find information on creating, accessing your account, upcoming webinars, and on-demand tutorial videos. You're able to use the features in the left navigation or the search bar to quickly find what you need. And you're able to use the submit a request form for account requests, general questions, and to provide suggestions. In order to get to ProTools Help, I gave you a quick link, and it's protoolshelp.cfnc.org. Your ProTools Help interface reminds you of ProTools, but here you're able to submit a request for account access. You're able to provide navigation and support for articles and documentation under each one. You're able to find answers to frequently asked questions, and you're able to use the search bar to quickly find answers. And Thursday, we will have a working session, and I look forward to seeing each and every one of you here Thursday as we walk through some reports. We create secondary accounts, so you can use that as you're working with students to stay ahead of the game and make sure your students have what they need. April, I'm going to kick it back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for all that great information. And as you all are looking at, this presentation and PowerPoint, I hope that you all have checked the chat out. There's, the reminder in there about confirming your account and such, because Pro Tools, at least from our experience, is one of those things that is easiest to understand once you get in there into your account and really work through and run some reports and set up student groups. From us just kind of working with you all, we have found that once you are logged in and you kind of get somewhat of a feel, for how to navigate in there, starting to create your student groups is a great place to start, just so that you have your group, so that when you do run your reports, you are doing it for the groups that you need to do it for. Because oftentimes, if you guys know, you don't need to run a report for every single student who is in the system. So We did have just a couple of questions that came through, Constance, if that's okay. If
Yes.
I can kind of, read them to you, and then you guys continue to send questions in the chat if you have them. So we have someone who perhaps is looking at their 2023 graduates and don't see all of their students, and only about 5 are theirs. And so we definitely had some questions going back and forth trying to help solve it. But we're wondering if you have any common reasons why.
So this would be a very specific issue that I will have to send over to our technology team. So if you can send me an email at cfnc@northcarolina.edu, I'll look at that today and get it over to our technical team, and I'll also respond back to you so that you can ask any questions that you need. So send me an email at cfnc@northcarolina.edu, and I'll make sure that we get that issue over to our technology team. They're able to look at it in more depth and reset and find out what's going on, because it sounds like something's not pulling from DPI. So they need to figure out what's going on with that coding.
Yep, that sounds right. So if you all have a handful of students that you're not seeing, or you're like, this is most of my senior class, this isn't everybody, usually like on the CFI side, we'll say, before we shoot Constance an email, do those students have a CFNC account, and have they aligned it to the right school? Because in order for you to see them in Pro Tools, see them listed, the student has to, in their CFNC account, list the correct school that they're going to, so that you have access to see them when you log into Pro Tools. So that's a big one. As you guys are thinking through countdown to college in October and college application week, and you running reports and all those things, we really encourage you to, one, make sure you have your Pro Tools login and that you can get into your account and you have all of that handled. In addition, it's really helpful to get the message out to all of your seniors to say, this is a great time to log into your CFNC account and make sure that their information that they have listed is correct, including the school they go to. Some of our students have a lot of different CFNC accounts because they've forgotten their login over the years, and instead of trying to work through to identify that correct login, they've made a new account. Other students made an account in 8th grade and they still have their login, but they may have a different address, or they may have some information in it that doesn't line up with GPI, as Constance was saying. So this is a good time for them to log in, make sure the information is correct, make sure they have the correct school listed so you can see them on the Pro Tools end. Let me look through. If anyone has any questions and you want to unmute, feel free to, and I'm going to take just a second and look back through the chat.
April, I have one. We will have an email going out sometime today. We have a couple error messages, and releasing accounts does have, you will receive an error message. Our CFI team is aware, and they're actually working on that now. So I am sending a message out today about a couple error messages that have just recently started.
Perfect. And that would make sense, because we did early on get a question about someone has tried to release accounts for students who've transferred, and they received a red box with an error message. So there you go.
And that's been reported, and they're currently working on it. So hopefully in that blurb, it'll tell you, I'm not sure if it'll give us a timeline, but they are aware and working to get a fix to that.
We also, in the chat, don't forget when Constance was talking about finish the FAFSA and making sure that you have access to that. The message was sent over at 10:22 a.m. So if you need to scroll up in the chat conversation, that is the link to request access to finish the FAFSA. That is a really wonderful tool, and we will touch on that Thursday as well, likely as one of our breakout sessions. Honestly, Constance, that's a wonderful tool to keep an eye on more school-specific, student-specific information. As she showed, you can't see a ton of specific information about the student, but you can see, right, if they have completed it, if they've submitted it, if they haven't even started it, and you can see if they were flagged for verification. Not that all of our educators on here need to be financial aid verification experts. It's helpful sometimes to just know you were flagged for verification and try to put our students at ease of it's probably just a mistake, form or something of the like. So you can kind of see that in there, and they can always reach out to their college or colleges to see if there's anything else on their end that they need to submit. So that Finish the FAFSA tool is very useful as you think about your FAFSA completion rates within your high school. And of course, those are important because we know that FAFSA completion leads to a higher likelihood of attending post-secondary school, right? Whether that's 2-year, 4-year, public, private, in-state, out-of-state. It's an important step in the financial aid process. It's very, very important. And so that Finish the FAFSA report is helpful for that. If you are aware of that and perhaps the FAFSA tracker and are thinking the difference here, that's a really good question. And the way to kind of remember it is the FAFSA tracker gives you publicly available information for FAFSA completion rates at all of our high schools across the state. So that allows you to say, okay, maybe your school's FAFSA completion rate right now is sitting at 58%. And you perhaps are thinking, how does that compare? I mean, are we doing a good job? North Carolina's FAFSA completion rate as of about a month ago was about 60%. I believe we're hoping to finish closer to 64, 65%. So that gives you some comparison across the state. But then it's helpful to compare apples to apples, to think about a school whose maybe location, so geography, student body size, all that is similar to your institution. And then you can kind of compare that and see where you are. So those are great tools and reports that you can run, as Constance showed you in ProTools. So the best thing that I think we can tell you is make sure you've got your login and go in there, make your student groups and start running some reports. And I do believe that it's pretty easy to use once you are in there and really kind of going through it. Okay. So I don't see any more questions in the chat. I am going to stop recording in just a second, although every time I hit stop on recording, everything freezes up. Having some recording issues over here. Tried something different today, but that's why not all of the recordings have gone out. But we will get you this PowerPoint out today, as well as the survey. If you all have any other questions, we'll be on for just a minute. Feel free to unmute or shoot them over in the chat. Otherwise, today's program is complete. We thank Constance for joining us this morning and providing all of this great information about ProTools. It really is very user-friendly. And ProTools help, as Constance showed you all today, is very robust. And it is wonderful to go in and try to navigate and learn more information about ProTools. So we highly encourage you to take a look at that. And I believe the web address for that is simply ProTools. Maybe I'll have Constance throw it over in the chat if you don't mind. ProTools dot something/help. We'll put it in the chat though. Thank you, ProToolsHelp.cfnc. Thank you. So it's just a wonderful resource. So again, thank you all for joining today, and I'm going to stop recording and let us know if you have questions. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you Thursday for the ProTools working session also with Constance.